Part 1, The Rescue. The stars looked cold in the outer Vale sector. Lieutenant Taman Park stared at them through the viewport of the human frigate Dauntless. He had been in space for 3 years now, but the darkness still made him feel small. His coffee had gone cold in his hand. He took a sip anyway. The alarm changed everything. Red lights flashed across the bridge. The crew moved quickly to their stations. Commander Jiwoo Kim stood from her chair, her face serious. She was a good commander. She never panicked. "Report," she said. The sensor officer, a young man named Dong Hyun, checked his screens. "Distress signal. Unknown origin. Coming from the asteroid field 3,000 kilometers ahead." Tae put down his coffee. He walked to the sensor station and looked at the data. The signal was weak but clear. It used frequencies he had never seen before. But the emergency pattern was universal. Someone needed help. "Could be a trap," said the weapons officer. Her name was Young Mi, and she trusted nothing. Jiwoo nodded. "Could be. But we have to check." She turned to Tae. "Get your suit ready. You're going out there." Tae felt his heart beat faster. This was what he trained for. He left the bridge and headed to the hangar bay. His best friend, Hana Choi, was already there. She worked on the ship's systems and knew every machine on board. "I heard," she said. She was checking his Exo-Suit, the Mark 7 Reaper. It was 7 meters tall, gray and black with weapon mounts on both arms. "Everything looks good. Your oxygen is full." "Weapons are loaded? Thanks," Tae said. He climbed the ladder to the cockpit. The inside of the suit smelled like metal and recycled air. He strapped in and activated the systems. The suit came alive around him. Screens lit up. He could feel the mechanical limbs respond to his movements. The hangar door opened. Space waited beyond, black and endless. Tae activated his thrusters and flew out. The asteroid field was dangerous. Rocks the size of buildings floated everywhere. Tae moved carefully between them, following the distress signal. His sensors scanned each asteroid as he passed. Then he saw it. A ship was embedded in a large asteroid, half buried in rock and ice. The design was strange. It looked organic, like it had been grown instead of built. The hull curved in smooth lines, and there were no sharp edges. Tae had never seen anything like it. He approached slowly. "Dauntless, I found the ship. It's not from any species I know." Jiwoo's voice came through his radio. "Be careful. Check for life signs." Tae scanned the ship. One life sign. Weak but present. He found an opening in the hull and squeezed his suit through. Inside, the ship was dark. His lights cut through the shadows. The cockpit was small. A single seat sat in the center, surrounded by controls that looked more like living tissue than technology. And in the seat was a pilot. She was humanoid. 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. But her suit was unlike anything Tae had seen. It covered her entire body in layers of white and silver material. The surface looked smooth, almost like skin. There were no visible seams or joints. The helmet covered her face completely. Warning lights blinked on her chest piece, red symbols that Tae's computer tried to translate. "Life support failing. Critical condition." "I've got a survivor," Tae said. Bringing her back. He carefully freed her from the seat. She was light in his suit's arms. He carried her back through the asteroid field to the Dauntless. The medical bay was ready when he arrived. Dr. Sung Ho, the ship's doctor, waited with his team. They took the pilot from Tae's arms and placed her on the examination table. "Strange suit," Sung Ho said. He tried to scan her with his medical equipment. The readings made no sense. "I can't get through it." "The suit is blocking everything." Tae stood back and watched. The pilot didn't move. Her chest rose and fell slowly. She was alive, but barely. "We need to remove the suit to treat her," Sung Ho said. He tried to find release mechanisms, clasps, anything. There was nothing. "How does this thing come off?" They tried for hours. Nothing worked. The suit seemed to have no opening. Jiwoo came to check on them. Hana tried using her engineering tools. Nothing helped. 3 days passed. The pilot remained unconscious. The medical team kept her stable as best they could, but they couldn't do much without accessing her body. Tae visited her every day. He felt responsible. He had rescued her, but now she was trapped in her own suit. On the 3rd day, she woke up. Tae was alone in the medical bay when it happened. He was sitting in a chair reading reports on his tablet. Her hand moved. Just a small twitch, but he saw it. He stood up quickly. "Doctor, she's waking up." Her helmet turned toward him. The faceplate was still opaque. He couldn't see her eyes, but he knew she was looking at him. Sung Ho rushed in with his team. They gathered around her, checking vital signs. She didn't speak at first. Her head moved slowly, looking at each person. Then the translator came to life. The ship's computer had been analyzing her suit's signals for 3 days. It had learned enough to attempt translation. Her voice came through, mechanical and broken, but understandable. "Where am I?" "You're safe," Tay said. He stepped closer. "You were in an accident. We found you. This is a human ship called Dauntless." She was silent for a long moment. "Human? I do not know this word." "We're from Earth," Tay explained. "We're part of the Galactic Coalition. We picked up your distress signal." Another long silence. Then she said something that made Tay's heart sink. "Not accident. I ran away." Jiwoo had entered the room. She stepped forward. "Who are you running from?" The pilot's helmet turned to the commander. "My people. The veiled ones. They will come for me." "Why?" Jiwoo asked. "Because I am their property." The room went quiet. Tay felt cold. He didn't understand yet, but something in her voice told him this was serious. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "I was called Mirai. Before the transformation." "Before what transformation?" Mirai tried to sit up. The medical team helped her. She moved stiffly like her body hurt. "I need help," she said. "My suit, it is failing. The damage." "Too much," Sung-ho nodded. "We've been trying to examine you. We need to remove your suit to treat your injuries." "Yes," Mirai said. Her voice sounded sad. "Remove it, please." Tay looked at Jiwoo. The commander nodded. "Show us how," Tay said. Mirai raised her hand slowly. She pointed to spots on her body. Her neck, her shoulders, her sides. "Press here and here. The locks will release." Tay approached carefully. He felt nervous, though he didn't know why. He pressed the first spot on her neck. A small panel glowed blue, then released with a soft hiss. "Keep going," Mirai said quietly. Tay pressed the next spot, and the next. Each time another section released. The suit was coming apart. He grabbed the chest plate. It felt warm under his hands. He began to pull it away from her body. That was when he saw it. The suit wasn't just covering her skin. It was part of her skin. As he pulled, threads of flesh came with it. Not adhesive. Not fabric. Actual tissue. Tay's hands froze. "Doctor." Sung-ho stepped closer and looked. His face went pale. "Oh no. Oh no." Tay pulled his hands back, but Mirai spoke again. "Please continue. I want it off. All of it, but it's part of you," Tay said. His voice shook. "I know," Mirai said. "That is what the veiled ones do. We do not wear exosuits. We become them." Tay looked at Jiwoo. The commander's face showed horror, but also determination. She nodded at him. "If that's what she wants, help her." Tay took a deep breath. His hands trembled as he reached for the chest plate again. He pulled slowly, carefully. The suit peeled away like removing bandages from a wound. But these bandages had grown into the wound. Underneath, Mirai's body was wrong. Her skin was pale and thin. He could see her muscles underneath, and some places showed bone. Metal ports were drilled into her spine. Tubes ran from her lungs to chambers built into her ribcage. She wasn't wearing an exosuit. She had been turned into one. The medical team stood frozen. Hana had come to watch. She covered her mouth. Even Jiwoo looked away, but Mirai smiled under her helmet. Tay could hear it in her voice. "Thank you," she whispered. "Finally, free." Part 2. The truth. Tay stepped back from the examination table. His hands were covered in blood and clear fluid. He stared at them, not believing what he had just done. Around him, the medical team stood silent. No one knew what to say. Mirai lay on the table with half her suit removed. Her body looked broken. The parts that were still covered by the suit looked normal. The exposed parts looked like something from a nightmare. Her chest moved up and down, but the breathing came from both her lungs and the mechanical parts attached to them. Dr. Sung-ho finally moved. His training took over. "We need to stabilize her, get the medical scanner, hook up monitors to whatever systems we can access." His team moved quickly, following orders. Tay couldn't move. He just stared at Mirai. She had asked for this. She had guided his hands to remove the suit. But he felt like he had hurt her, not helped her. Commander Jiwoo put a hand on his shoulder. "Go clean up." "That's an order." Tay nodded slowly. He walked to the wash station and cleaned his hands. The water ran red and silver. He scrubbed until his skin hurt. Then he just stood there, hands under the water, not thinking. Hana appeared beside him. She didn't say anything. She just stood with him. After a long moment, she turned off the water and handed him a towel. Come on, she wants to talk. They returned to the examination table. Sung-ho had connected monitors to Mirai. The screens showed readings that made no sense. Heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen levels, all mixed with mechanical system reports. Half her body ran on biology. Half ran on technology. Mirai's helmet had been removed. Tae saw her face for the first time. She looked human. Young, maybe 25. Her skin was pale, her eyes were dark. She would have been pretty, Tae thought, if not for the metal ports on her temples and the tubes running into her neck. She looked at him and smiled weakly. You look scared. I am, Tae admitted. He pulled up a chair and sat beside her. I don't understand. What happened to you? Mirai's eyes became distant. I was chosen. That is what my people said. Chosen for glory, for honor. She laughed, but it sounded bitter. I was 14 years old. Jiwoo stood on the other side of the table. Chosen for what? To become a pilot. The veiled ones, my people, we do not build ships. We do not build weapons. We grow them, and we grow our pilots too. Mirai paused to catch her breath. Talking seemed hard for her. The process takes 4 years. They start with the spine. Metal ports drilled into every vertebra. Then the nervous system. They connect wires to your brain, your nerves. You feel everything. Every cut, every insertion. Hana looked sick. They did this while you were awake? Yes, they say the pain is part of the transformation. It makes us stronger. Makes us better weapons. Mirai closed her eyes. After the nervous system comes the organs. They replace your lungs with augmented versions. Add secondary hearts. Reinforce your bones with metal. Then comes the suit. They grow it on you, layer by layer. It fuses with your skin, your muscles. After 4 years, you cannot tell where your body ends and the suit begins. Sung-ho was taking notes, but his hands shook. Why? Why would anyone do this? Because we are weapons, Mirai said simply. The perfect weapons. We can survive in space without ships. We can fight for days without rest. We feel no cold, no heat. We are connected to our weapons like they are part of our body. Because they are. She opened her eyes and looked at each of them. We do not have pilots in exosuits. We are the exosuits. Tae felt anger rising in his chest. But you were a person. You had a life. I was a person, Mirai agreed. I had parents. I had a little brother. I liked to draw pictures of the sky. I wanted to be an artist. She touched the metal port on her temple. But the veiled ones needed more pilots. So they took me. They told my parents it was an honor. They told me I would serve my people. They never asked if I wanted this. The room was quiet except for the beeping of monitors. Tae thought about his own childhood. Playing in parks. Going to school. Choosing to join the military when he was old enough. He couldn't imagine being 14 and having his body stolen from him. How many? Jiwoo asked quietly. How many others like you? Thousands. The veiled ones have been doing this for centuries. Every generation they choose more children. Turn them into pilots. Send them to fight in wars. Mirai's voice grew weaker. We fight everyone. We raid colonies. We steal resources. We kill whoever they tell us to kill. And we cannot refuse. The suit. It has controls. If you disobey, it causes pain. If you refuse orders, it can take control of your body. You become a passenger in your own skin. Hana wiped tears from her eyes. That's slavery. Yes, Mirai said. That is exactly what it is. Jiwoo crossed her arms. How did you escape? I damaged my ship's AI core. During a raid on a mining colony, I saw children. Small ones like I used to be. The AI wanted me to kill them. I refused. The suit began the pain sequence. But I had been planning. I had hidden a small electromagnetic device in my suit's inner layer. It took me 2 years to build it from spare parts. I used it to fry the AI core. Mirai smiled, but she looked tired. The suit could no longer control me. I ran. I flew for 3 weeks running from veiled space. But my suit was damaged. The life support began failing. Then you found me. Tae leaned forward. Your people. They're coming for you, aren't they? Mirai nodded. Yes, desertion is the greatest crime in veiled culture. They will send hunters, other pilots like I used to be. They will find me, and they will try to take me back. What happens if they catch you? Sung-ho asked. Reconditioning. They will repair my body, repair my suit, and they will burn parts of my brain, the parts that make me, me. I will become an empty shell, a perfect weapon with no thoughts of my own. Mirai looked at Tay. That is why I asked you to remove my suit. I would rather die free than live as a slave. Jiwoo straightened up. You're not going back. We won't let them take you. You cannot fight them, Mirai said. You do not understand. Veiled pilots are powerful. 12 of them destroyed a coalition battle group 5 years ago. Your weapons cannot hurt us. Our suits are too strong. We'll see about that, Jiwoo said. She turned to Hana. I want full scans of the suit pieces we removed. Find weaknesses. Figure out how they work. Yes, Commander, Hana said. Jiwoo looked at Sung-ho. Keep her alive as long as you can. If she wants to be free, we'll give her that freedom. The doctor nodded. I'll do my best. As Jiwoo left to return to the bridge, Tay stayed with Mirai. He didn't want her to be alone. Hana went to analyze the suit pieces. Sung-ho and his team worked quietly, trying to stabilize Mirai's failing systems. Thank you, Mirai said softly, for not being afraid of me. I am afraid, Tay admitted. But not of you. I'm afraid of what was done to you. And I'm angry. Angry? Yes, you were a child. You should have been protected. Instead, they turned you into a weapon. That's not right. That's evil. Mirai reached out slowly. Her hand was still covered by the suit's glove. Tay took it anyway. In my culture, before the transformation, we had a saying. The stars belong to everyone. I used to believe that. I thought I would see the stars as an explorer, not as a killer. You still can, Tay said. You're free now. You can choose. I am dying, Mirai said. The suit was keeping me alive. Without it, my body cannot function. Dr. Sung-ho is good, but he cannot fix what my people broke. I have maybe 2 days. Tay squeezed her hand. Then we'll make those 2 days count. You'll die as Mirai, not as a weapon. As yourself, Mirai smiled. A real smile this time. I would like that. The ship's alarm began blaring. Red lights flashed. Tay heard Jiwoo's voice over the intercom. All hands to battle stations. We have multiple contacts approaching. Unknown origin. Mirai's smile faded. They are here. The hunters have found me. Tay stood up. How many? The standard hunting group is 12 pilots. Each one is a veteran. Each one has killed hundreds. Mirai tried to sit up, but she was too weak. You must run, please. I'm not worth dying for. Yes, you are, Tay said. He looked at Sung-ho. Keep her safe. The doctor nodded. Go. We'll protect her here. Tay ran from the medical bay toward the hangar. His suit was waiting. If the Veiled Ones wanted a fight, humanity would give them one. Mirai had fought to be free. Now it was his turn to fight for her. Part 3. The battle. Tay reached the hangar bay at a full run. His heart pounded in his chest. The alarm kept blaring. Crew members rushed past him, heading to their stations. Everyone knew what was coming. Hana was already in the hangar, preparing his exo-suit. She looked up when she saw him. 12 contacts. They're not showing up as ships on our sensors. They're showing up as individual units. Big ones. Mirai said they're pilots, Tay said as he climbed into his suit. Like her, but still loyal to the Veiled Ones. Can we beat them? Hana asked. I don't know. Tay strapped himself in and activated the suit's systems. Everything came online. Weapons armed. Thrusters ready. But we're going to try. 3 other pilots were preparing their suits. Lieutenant Bo Shin was a veteran, older than Tay by 5 years. She had survived the first contact war. Ensign Woo Jin Han was young, barely 22, but he was a good shot. Ensign Da-Un Lim was quiet but skilled at close combat. They launched together, flying out of the Dauntless into open space. Tay could see the enemy now. 12 shapes moving toward them. They looked like Mirai's suit, but bigger, much bigger. Each one was the size of a small fighter craft. They moved through space like living creatures, twisting and turning in ways that seemed impossible. Jiwoo's voice came through the radio. All units maintain defensive formation around the Dauntless. Do not engage unless they attack first. The 12 veiled pilots stopped 1,000 meters away. They floated in space, watching, waiting. Then one of them moved forward. A voice came through on all frequencies. It sounded flat, emotionless, mechanical. Human vessel Dauntless. You are harboring veiled property. Pilot designation Mirai, number 12. Return her immediately or be destroyed. Jiwoo responded from the bridge. This is Commander Jiwoo Kim of the human vessel Dauntless. The individual you call property is a person. She has requested asylum. We will not surrender her. Silence. Then the voice spoke again. This unit is Kyung-soon, number 7. Pilot Mirai is malfunctioning. She has broken her programming. She must be retrieved for reconditioning. Your interference is unacceptable. She's not a machine, Tay said into his radio. She's a person. You're a person too. Can't you see what they did to you is wrong? Wrong? No. This unit serves with honor. This unit is perfected. Pilot Mirai has rejected perfection. She has become corrupt. Kyung-soon's voice showed no emotion at all. You have 10 seconds to comply. Tay looked at his tactical display. The 12 veiled pilots were spreading out, surrounding them. Commander, they're getting into attack formation. I see it, Jiwoo said. All pilots, weapons free. Defend yourselves. The veiled pilots attacked. They moved faster than anything Tay had ever seen. One moment they were 1,000 meters away. The next moment they were among the human pilots, weapons firing. Tay barely dodged a blast of orange plasma that melted space where his head had been a second before. He fired back with his mounted cannons. The rounds hit Kyung-soon's suit and bounced off. The armor was too strong. Weapons ineffective. Bora shouted over the radio. She was spinning, dodging 2 veiled pilots who attacked her from different directions. Woo Jin screamed. Tay looked and saw one of the veiled pilots grab the young ensign's suit with a massive hand. The enemy pilot's other arm transformed, growing a blade of metal and bone. It thrust forward, piercing through Woo Jin's cockpit. The life sign on Tay's display went dark. Woo Jin, Daeun cried out. She fired everything she had at the killer pilot. The plasma rounds, the missiles, the railgun, everything bounced off or exploded harmlessly against the suit's armor. The veiled pilots moved like they were dancing. They dodged every attack. They struck with perfect precision. Daeun's suit was hit 3 times in rapid succession. Explosions tore through her left arm and leg. She ejected just before her power core exploded. 2 pilots down in less than a minute. Tay and Bora were all that remained. Fall back to the Dauntless, Jiwoo ordered. The frigate's guns were firing now, putting a wall of bullets between the human pilots and their attackers. It helped, but not much. The veiled pilots dodged most of the fire. What hit them didn't seem to hurt them. Tay retreated toward the ship. Bora stayed beside him, covering his back. The veiled pilots pursued. They moved in perfect coordination. One would attack high while another attacked low. A third would flank while a fourth went straight ahead. They never got in each other's way. They never hesitated. How are they doing this? Bora asked. She was breathing hard. It's like they can read each other's minds. Tay watched them on his sensors. Then he saw it. Small signals passing between the suits. Data transfer. They're networked. Their suits are sharing information. So what? How does that help us? Before Tay could answer, something hit him from behind. The impact sent his suit spinning. Warning lights flashed. His left thruster was damaged. He struggled to stabilize. Kyung-soon appeared in front of him. Her suit's face had no features, just smooth white armor. But he could feel her looking at him. You cannot win, human. We are superior in every way. Surrender the deserter. Never, Tay said. He fired his right arm cannon point blank. Kyung-soon caught his arm. The metal of his suit crumpled in her grip like paper. She threw him toward an asteroid. Tay crashed into the rock, his suit taking heavy damage. More warning lights. Power at 60%. Hull breach in the right leg. Through his cracked screen, he saw the veiled pilots regrouping. All 12 of them now focused on the Dauntless. They were going to attack the ship directly. They were going to kill everyone aboard to get to Mirai. He had to do something. But what? His weapons were useless. He was damaged. Bora was in even worse shape, barely able to fly. Then he remembered what Mirai said. The suit has controls. It can take over your body. The suits were machines as much as they were biology. Machines could be disrupted, Hana, he called over the radio. Are you reading me? Barely, Hana's voice came back. Your transmitter is damaged. What is it? Their suits. They're networked together. Can you generate an electromagnetic pulse? Something to disrupt their connection? There was a pause. Maybe. The ship's power core could generate one, but we'd have to get them close. Really close. Tay looked at the 12 veiled pilots approaching the Dauntless. They were 300 meters away. 250. They were coming. An idea formed in his mind. A terrible, dangerous idea. But it might work, Commander, he said. I need you to do something. And I need Mirai's help. Inside the medical bay, Mirai was dying. Dr. Sung-ho knew it. He could see her biological system shutting down one by one. Without the suit to support her, her altered body couldn't survive. She had maybe 6 hours left, but when Tae's message came through, she smiled. "I can do this," she told Sung-ho. "Connect me to the ship's communication system." The doctor hesitated. "It will use up what little energy you have left. It could kill you." "I am already dead," Mirai said gently. "Let me die doing something useful. Let me save you, like you tried to save me." Sung-ho nodded slowly. He connected her neural ports to the ship's systems. Mirai closed her eyes and began broadcasting. Outside, the 12 veiled pilots heard her voice. It came through their suit's internal systems, bypassing all filters. It was in their native language, using frequencies only veiled pilots could hear. "Brothers, sisters, I know you can hear me. This is Mirai, number 12. The pilots slowed. They stopped their approach to the Dauntless. "I know what you are thinking, that I am malfunctioning, that I have become corrupt. But I have not. I have remembered what we were before they took us, before they cut us apart and rebuilt us into weapons." Kyung-soon's voice cut in. "Pilot Mirai, cease transmission. You are in violation of—" "I remember my mother's face." Mirai's voice grew stronger. "I remember my brother's laugh. I remember wanting to draw the sky. Do you remember? Do any of you remember who you were?" Silence. The veiled pilots floated in space, not moving. "They told us it was honor. They told us we were serving our people. But we were children. They stole our bodies. They stole our choices. They stole our lives. Is that honor?" "Pilot Miri," Kyung-soon tried again. "I saw what we do. I saw the colonies we raided. I saw the families we killed. Children, Kyung-soon, just like we used to be. Is that honor?" Something changed. The veiled pilots began moving again, but not in formation. They moved independently, confused. "The network was disrupting. Now!" Tae shouted. Hana activated the electromagnetic pulse. A wave of energy burst from the Dauntless, washing over the 12 veiled pilots. Their formation broke completely. Their network went dark. For the first time, they were individuals instead of a hive mind. Tae and Bora attacked. They couldn't destroy the veiled pilots, but they could cripple them. Tae targeted joints, weapon mounts, thrusters. Bora did the same. 3 pilots were disabled before the others recovered. But the damage was done. The veiled pilots retreated, dragging their disabled comrades with them. Kyung-soon was the last to leave. Her voice came through one final time. "This changes nothing. We will return with a fleet. The veiled ones do not forgive. The veiled ones do not forget." Then they were gone, vanishing into the darkness of space. Part 4. The message the Dauntless limped through space. Emergency repairs were happening on every deck. The ship had taken damage during the battle. 3 hull breaches, 1 damaged engine, and half the sensors were offline, but they were alive. Tae climbed out of his damaged exo-suit. His body ached everywhere. His hands shook as he removed his helmet. Around him, the hangar bay crew worked on Bora's suit. She had made it back barely. Her suit was in worse shape than his. Hana ran up to him. She grabbed him in a tight hug. "You scared me. When I saw Woojin die, I thought you were next." Tae hugged her back. He didn't have words. Woojin had been 22 years old. He had talked about his girlfriend back on Earth just yesterday. Now he was gone. "How's Mirai?" Tae asked. Hana's expression changed. "You need to come, now." They ran to the medical bay. Dr. Sung-ho stood outside, looking exhausted. "She's asking for you," he said to Tae. Tae entered quietly. Mirai lay on the examination table. She looked smaller now, weaker. Her skin was gray. The monitors around her showed systems failing one by one. She was dying, but she smiled when she saw him. "You won. We survived," Tae corrected. He pulled up a chair and sat beside her. "Thanks to you. That broadcast. It confused them long enough for us to act. Maybe I reminded them what they lost." "What I lost?" Mirai coughed. "Kyung-soon was my friend. Before the transformation, we trained together. We were going to be explorers. We were going to see the galaxy." She closed her eyes. "I wonder if she remembers." "I think she does," Tae said softly. "I think that's why she retreated. She could have kept attacking, but she didn't. She will come back. With more pilots. With ships. The veiled ones will not stop until they have me, or until I am dead." Mirai looked at him. "You should leave me. Eject me into space. Let them find my body. Maybe then they will leave you alone." "No," Tae said firmly. "Why? Why do you protect me? I am nothing to you. We just met days ago." Tae thought about his answer. Because you asked for help. Because you deserve to be free. Because what was done to you was wrong, and if we just let it happen, then we're as bad as the people who did it. Mirai's eyes became wet. My people would not do this. The veiled ones only care about efficiency, about strength. A damaged pilot would be discarded without thought. Then your people are wrong, Tay said. Every person matters. Every life has value. That's what humanity believes. That's what we'll fight for. Even if it cost you everything? Yes, Mirai reached out and took his hand. Hers felt cold. Thank you. For seeing me as a person. For treating me like I matter. You do matter, Tay said. They sat in silence for a while. Dr. Sung Ho came in occasionally to check monitors, but he didn't disturb them. Hana brought Tay food, but he couldn't eat. He just stayed with Mirai. Hours passed. Mirai's breathing became shallower. The monitors beeped slower and slower. Tay knew she didn't have long. Tay, she whispered. I need to tell you something. About the veiled ones. About how to fight them. Save your strength, Tay said. No, listen. This is important. Mirai struggled to sit up a little. The pilots. They are networked, yes, but it is more than sharing information. The network links their minds. When they fight together, they become one consciousness. That is why they are so effective. That is why they are so hard to beat. We disrupted the network with the EMP, Tay said. Yes, but it will not work again. They will adapt. They will shield their systems. Mirai coughed again. Blood appeared on her lips. Sung Ho rushed to wipe it away. But there is another way. The pilots. Some of them, deep down, they remember. They remember being people. Being children with dreams. If you can reach them, if you can make them remember, the network becomes unstable. Doubt spreads through it like poison. How do we make them remember? Tay asked. Show them humanity. Show them what they could be if they were free. Show them that there is another way. Mirai's voice was getting weaker. Kyung-soon. She hesitated today. For just a moment, when she heard my voice, she hesitated. That means she remembers something. Find her. Help her. I will, Tay promised. Mirai smiled. Good, that is good. Her eyes started to close. The stars. I wanted to see the stars. Not through a visor. Not through sensors. Just with my eyes, Tay looked at Sung Ho. The doctor understood. He helped them carefully move Mirai. Tay picked her up gently. She weighed almost nothing. He carried her to the observation deck. The observation deck had a large window that looked out into space. Stars spread across the darkness like diamonds on black cloth. Tay held Mirai so she could see. Beautiful, she whispered. I forgot how beautiful they are. They stood there for a long time. Hana joined them. Then Commander Ji-woo. Then other crew members. They all came to stand with Mirai in her final moments. Do you have family? Mirai asked quietly. People who love you? I have Hana, Tay said. She's like a sister to me. And the crew? They're my family now, that is good. Family is important. I had a brother, Jay. He was 7 when they took me. I wonder if he remembers me. If he knows what happened to me. Would you like me to find him? Tay asked. After this is over. Would you like me to tell him about you? Mirai's eyes filled with tears. Yes, tell him I am sorry I could not come home. Tell him I tried to be strong. Tell him I loved him. I will, Tay said. Mirai's breathing slowed. The monitors attached to her showed her heart rate dropping. 60 beats per minute, 50, 40. She looked up at the stars one more time. Thank you, she whispered, for letting me be human again. Even if just for a few days. You were always human, Tay said. They tried to take that from you, but they failed. You proved that when you chose freedom over safety. That's the most human thing there is. Mirai smiled. Then her eyes closed. The monitors flatlined. She was gone. Tay held her for a long moment. Then he gently laid her down. Sung Ho checked for any signs of life, but there were none. Mirai had died watching the stars just like she wanted. The crew stood in silence. No one knew what to say. They had known Mirai for only 3 days. But in those 3 days, she had changed everything. Commander Ji-woo was the first to speak. We need to report this to Coalition Command. They need to know about the Veiled Ones, about what they do to their people. They won't care, Bora said bitterly. She was leaning against the wall, her arm in a sling. One escaped pilot. That's not enough to start a war. Then we make it enough, Ji-woo said. We have evidence. The suit pieces. Medical scans. Mirai's testimony in the recordings. We show the coalition what the Veiled Ones really are. We make them listen. And if they still don't care? Hana asked. Jiwoo looked at each of them. Then humanity acts alone. We didn't join the coalition to ignore injustice. We joined to make things better. If they won't help, we will. Tae looked down at Mirai's body. She looked peaceful now. The pain was gone from her face. She asked me to help Kyung-soon, to help the other pilots remember who they are. That's insane, Bo-ra said. They tried to kill us, and so did Mirai once, Tae said. Before she remembered herself, before she chose to be free, he looked at Jiwoo. I want to go back. I want to find Kyung-soon. I want to help her, like Mirai asked. Jiwoo was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. We'll need coalition approval. And a lot more ships, but yes, we'll try. They held a funeral for Mirai in space. Her body was placed in a capsule with windows on all sides. She was surrounded by stars, just like she wanted. They launched the capsule into orbit around a nearby moon. A marker was placed on the moon's surface with her name. Not her pilot designation. Her real name. Mirai. Artist, dreamer, free. As the Dauntless prepared to jump to coalition space, Tae stood in the hangar bay. His suit was being repaired. Hana worked beside him, replacing damaged parts. Do you really think we can save them? Hana asked. The other Veiled pilots? I don't know, Tae admitted. But we have to try. Mirai died so we would know the truth. If we do nothing with that truth, then her death means nothing. What if they don't want to be saved? Then we tried. But I think some of them do. I heard it in Kyung-soon's voice. When Mirai was broadcasting, just for a second Kyung-soon sounded uncertain, scared, human. Tae picked up a piece of Mirai's suit that Hana had been studying. It felt warm in his hands. These suits, they're prisons. But prisons can be opened. Mirai proved that. It killed her, Hana pointed out. She was dying anyway. The transformation did that. But she chose how she died. She chose freedom. That's powerful. Tae put down the suit piece. If we can give that choice to others, we should. Hana nodded slowly. Then we will. Humanity doesn't leave people in chains, even if breaking those chains costs us everything. The Dauntless jumped to faster than light speed. Behind them, Mirai's capsule floated among the stars, finally at peace. Part 5. The choice 3 months had passed since Mirai died. 3 months since the Dauntless had reported everything to Coalition Command. 3 months of debates, arguments, and political discussions. Tae stood in the briefing room of the Coalition flagship Harmony. Around him sat representatives from 12 different species. Some were humanoid. Some were not. All of them were arguing. This is not our problem, said the Carthan representative. He was tall, blue-skinned, with 4 arms. The Veiled Ones have never attacked Coalition space. Why should we provoke them? Because they're enslaving children, Hana said. She was there as the technical expert. Having studied Mirai's suit for months, they take kids and turn them into weapons. How is that not our problem? Many species have unusual coming-of-age rituals, the Thex ambassador said. She was a floating jellyfish-like creature in a water tank. We cannot judge other cultures by our standards. Tae felt anger rising in his chest. He had heard this argument for 3 months. This isn't a ritual. It's torture. It's slavery. We have evidence. Medical scans, recordings, Mirai's testimony. 1 pilot's word, the Carthan said. Perhaps she was mentally unstable. Perhaps the transformation failed in her case specifically. Then explain the battle, Commander Jiwoo said. She stood beside Tae, her uniform crisp and formal. 12 pilots attacked us. They moved with inhuman coordination. They showed no emotion, no hesitation. They called Mirai malfunctioning property. Those are not the words of a free people. The room erupted into argument again. Some species wanted to act. Others wanted to ignore the problem. A few suggested sending a diplomatic mission to the Veiled Ones to learn more. Admiral In-Soo-Kwan had heard enough. He was the human representative, an old man with gray hair and hard eyes. He had fought in 3 wars. He knew what justice looked like. Enough, he said. His voice was quiet, but everyone stopped talking. The coalition was formed to protect the innocent, to stand against tyranny. If we ignore the Veiled Ones, we fail that mission. We become cowards who only act when it's convenient. Strong words, the Carthan said. But will humanity act alone if the coalition refuses? In-Soo looked at him directly. Yes, we will. Because some things are more important than politics. Some things are worth fighting for even if we stand alone. The room went silent. Then the Arden representative, a bear-like creature with brown fur, stood up. Arden Prime will stand with humanity. This injustice cannot be ignored. One by one, other species joined. Not all of them, but enough. A coalition within the coalition united in purpose. A fleet was assembled. 30 ships from 8 different species. The Dauntless was among them, repaired and upgraded. Tay stood in the hangar bay looking at his Exo-Suit. It had been completely rebuilt after the last battle. New armor, new weapons, new systems. But the most important upgrade was the communication array that Hannah had installed. It was designed to broadcast on veiled frequencies to reach the pilot's suits directly. "Think it'll work?" Hannah asked. She stood beside him holding a datapad with the broadcast script. "It has to," Tay said. "If we just attack them, we're no better than the people who made them. We have to try talking first, and if they don't listen, then we do what we have to do. But we give them the choice first." That's what Mireille would want. The fleet jumped to veiled space. They emerged at the edge of the territory, far from any inhabited systems. They waited. The veiled fleet appeared an hour later. Not 12 pilots this time, 40, and 5 capital ships. Massive organic vessels that looked like they had been grown instead of built. "They brought friends," Bora said. She was in her repaired suit flying beside Tay. "This is going to be bad." The lead veiled ship broadcast a message. "Coalition fleet. You have entered veiled territory without permission. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed." Admiral Insu responded. "We wish to negotiate. We seek the release of all pilots who wish to leave your service. Our pilots serve willingly. There is nothing to negotiate." "Then let us speak with them," Insu said. "Let them tell us themselves that they wish to remain." Silence. Then denied. "Withdraw now. Final warning." Tay activated his communication array. "Veiled pilots. This is Lieutenant Taemin Park of the human ship Dauntless. 3 months ago, we rescued one of you, Pilot Mirai, designation 12. She told us what was done to you. How you were taken as children. How you were transformed against your will. She told us you were slaves." "Lies," the veiled command ship responded. "Do not listen to human propaganda." But Tay continued. "Mirai died free. She chose freedom over returning to you. She asked me to help others make the same choice. So I'm asking you now, any pilot who wishes to leave, we will protect you. Any pilot who wishes to be free, we will help you. You have a choice." "We are perfected," came a response from one of the pilots. "We need no help from humans." "Are you perfected?" Tay asked. "Or are you prisoners? Can you refuse orders? Can you choose not to fight? Can you remember who you were before they cut you apart?" Silence, then another voice. One Tay recognized Kyung-soon. "Pilot Mirai was my friend. Before the transformation. We trained together. We dreamed together." Her voice sounded different from before, less mechanical, more alive. "I remembered her. When she broadcast during the battle, I remembered her face, her laugh, how she wanted to draw the sky." "This unit is malfunctioning," the command ship broadcast. Kyung-soon, Unit 7, returned to the ship for reconditioning. "No," Kyung-soon said. The word seemed to surprise even her. "I refuse. Refusing orders is forbidden. You will comply or be forced to comply." "That's what you did to Mirai," Kyung-soon said. "You tried to force her. She ran. She died rather than submit. Maybe she was right." 2 more pilots broke formation. Then 3 more. They moved away from the veiled fleet toward the coalition ships. "Deserters will be destroyed," the command ship warned. The remaining veiled pilots moved to attack the defectors, but other pilots blocked them. A civil war was breaking out in the veiled formation. "All defecting pilots head toward the Dauntless," Tay broadcast. "We'll protect you." Kyung-soon and 11 others flew toward the coalition fleet. Behind them, the veiled fleet split. Some pilots pursued. Others stopped them. The 5 capital ships fired weapons, but not at the coalition. At their own pilots who were trying to leave. "They're killing their own people," Bora said in horror. "No," Jiwoo corrected. "They're destroying property that's trying to escape. To them, it's the same thing. The battle was chaos. The coalition fleet engaged the veiled capital ships, trying to create cover for the defectors. Tay and Bora flew forward to meet Kyung-soon and her group. A veiled loyalist pilot intercepted them. It was massive, weapons charged. Deserters die. Humans die. All who reject perfection die, the loyalist attacked. Tay dodged, firing his weapons. They bounced off the armor as expected. But he wasn't trying to destroy the pilot. He was trying to reach them. You don't have to do this, Tay shouted. You can choose to stop. You can be free. Freedom is weakness. Perfection is strength. The Loyalist fired again. Kyung-soon appeared, slamming into the Loyalist from the side. The two veiled pilots grappled in space, their suits tearing at each other. Run, Kyung-soon told Tay. Get the others to safety. Tay wanted to help, but she was right. He escorted the defecting pilots toward the Dauntless. One by one, they docked in the hangar bay. Medical teams were ready. They knew what to expect now. Behind them, the battle continued. The Coalition fleet was taking heavy losses. 3 ships were destroyed. But the veiled fleet was breaking apart. More pilots were defecting. Others were fighting the capital ships. Finally, the veiled command ship withdrew. The remaining Loyalist pilots followed. But 23 pilots did not. They chose to stay with the Coalition. Kyung-soon was among them. Her suit was damaged from the fight. Tay helped her land in the hangar bay. When she climbed out of her suit, she looked exhausted. Her body showed the same horrific integration as Mirai's. Metal ports, tubes, artificial organs visible through translucent skin. But she was smiling. I remembered, she said to Tay. When you spoke, I remembered everything. My name is not Kyung-soon, Unit 7. My name is just Kyung-soon. I had a mother. I liked to sing. I was going to be a teacher. Tears ran down her face. I remembered. What happens now? Tay asked. Now we help the others remember, Kyung-soon said. The Veiled Ones have thousands of pilots. Most are still enslaved. Still controlled. But if we could remember, they can too. Dr. Sung-ho approached carefully. We'll need to examine you. All of you. To understand how to keep you alive. We are dying, Kyung-soon said simply. The transformation shortens our lives. Most pilots live only 20 years after the process. But that is okay. We would rather live 20 years free than 100 years as slaves. Over the next weeks, the Coalition worked with the defecting pilots. They learned how the suits worked. How the control systems functioned. How the network connected their minds. And they learned something important. The suits could be modified. The control systems could be removed. The pilots would still be dependent on their suits to survive. But they would have full control. They would be free to choose. Tay spent most of his time with Kyung-soon. She was different from Mirai, harder, less gentle, but she had the same fire, the same desire for freedom. Mirai asked me to help you, Tay told her.